We have a man who has worked on every show, I think, that I've done. He is a magical advisor and a very magical person. He performs all over the world as the Shriek of Araby, Ali Bongo.
Ali Bongo was one of the most inspirational magicians in history. He rose to fame performing and writing for the Paul Daniels Show from 1979 to 1994.
He was a phenomenon, a creator, an advisor, a performer, and a damn good man.
I think one of the qualities that really stands out with Ali was his non-stop 24/7 enthusiasm. And he was always keen to help, whether it was a youngster who was just learning magic or an old person who wanted to seek Ali's thoughts on a particular trick. Ali was the very, very helpful guy.
He loved puzzles. He was forever turning up here in the club room at the Magic Circle with another one of those little metal puzzles and saying, "You try it, you try it, you try it," and chuckling. Ali is the only person I've ever met who actually went hee hee when he laughed, and he would when you found that you couldn't do that puzzle, because he knew the secret. And if you went into a shop and he found a puzzle, he would agonize over it for hours, standing in a shop stock still, working on it until he worked it out. Ali never read instructions in his life because Ali knew better, and it was that kind of mind that brought some of the best magic to the world today.
Now, as the years went on, I found out that Ali was becoming more and more known to the general public. Yes, they occasionally saw his wacky act on TV, and it's interesting if you watch that act to see just the detail, the links from one to the next to create what is apparently mayhem.
He was born in India. He grew up there watching the street magicians, the gully men as they're called, who would produce balls and then live chickens out of little cups. Ali was totally taken by this magic, and he guided himself. That's why Ali is original, because there were no role models. Ali is the role model, the consummate role model for everybody else.
And he spoke about 6, 7 languages. So when you were with Ali overseas, somewhere on the continent, whoever he met, whether it was German, French, Italian, Ali could converse in that language. He was a brilliant guy.
Buonasera, signori et signori. Je m'appelle Ali Bongo, c'est la première blague, et je viens d'Angleterre. C'est la deuxième blague. Mein Name ist Ali Bongo, das ist der erste Witz. Ich komme aus England, der zweite Witz.
Ali Bongo was a member of the Magic Circle, which was where he spent much of his time passing on his knowledge to future magicians. He was greatly involved in the Young Magicians Club, helping aspiring performers with their acts.
I asked Ali to come along and teach, and that was the start of it all. As Vice President of the Magic Circle, Ali came to every single workshop for 11 years. Ali would come along even when he was exhausted. He would call up and say, "I don't think I'll make it today. I'm flying to France Sunday morning, and I've got packing to do, and I've got lecture to put together and things to make. I won't come to the workshop tomorrow." And I said, "That's okay, Ali." And 10 minutes into the conversation, "Well, maybe I'll come at lunchtime." And I'd say, "Fine." Sure enough, bang on the dot of 11, Ali would be there, ready to start the day, and be there for the entire workshop. He couldn't keep away.
My relationship with Ali was pretty good most of the time, but sometimes, you see, there's a massive difference between what I call a convention trick or for magicians, magic for magicians, and magic for the general public. And frequently Ali couldn't see the difference. To Ali, a magic trick was a magic trick was a magic trick. He was the ultimate magic fan. And so I would say, no, that's what I call a so what trick, Ali. But equally, if you came up with the idea, Ali would say it was no good. And his lips would pout. And I would say, "Well, come on, Ali, come on. Tell me why not." And he really couldn't. It was just Ali being Ali. And And for all those quirky things, I guess I liked him.
We give various awards here at the Magic Circle. We have a Devant Award and a Masculine Award, which you'll see in the Devant room, and Ali got them both. It's a very, very rare thing indeed. The one thing that I wanted Ali to get, we also have a gold medal for outstanding contribution, which literally only a handful of people have got. And I must say I wanted Ali to have that, but sadly it wasn't to be. But if it only lived a bit longer, who knows, I'm sure that would have happened.
And I have to say that I have one of the biggest honours in my whole life was the fact that Ali made only 3 members of the Magic Circle into members of the Inner Magic Circle. That is the only degree that the President gives. And he only gave 3 in those few short months, and I was one of those 3. And I just treasure my membership of the Inner Magic Circle, not just because it's a huge honour in itself, but because Ali was the man who gave it to me.
After 79 years, Ali Bongo suffered a stroke and died March the 9th, 2009.
He became president of the Magic Circle in September 2008. He took ill suddenly in Paris in February and was flown home to England, and he died in March 2009.
And certainly a tear to the eye when his coffin came in and it had the curly up boots on the front end, the shoes, you know, on the top of the coffin rather. That was very sad. I think he would have liked the gag from a friend of mine though, because Ali was cremated in one of those willow coffins, you know, they're woven of willow. And as the coffin was coming in, my friend said, trust Ali to come in a sword basket.
I was in Paris at the time. I couldn't be at Ali's funeral, and I had a picture of Ali with me. I found a church in the Madeleine district of Paris, and I went and sat in the church for an hour with Ali's photograph. And I paid my respects to Ali in my own little way. And I'm not a religious person, but I felt as though Ali was there somehow, because he meant so much to a lot of people, and me certainly, and I just felt he was sitting in the church with me. If he'd walked in, it wouldn't have surprised me. And he's a loss to magic, and is a personal loss as well.
I miss him a lot. Somewhere in the house we've got the famous painting of him, and every time I walk past it I say, "Hi Ali."
I came back from a magic convention only yesterday evening, and people from all over the world were there, and so many came up to me and said, I still miss Ali. He's not forgotten, and that's the biggest tribute anybody of his kind could ever have. Ali will never be forgotten.